Every single year, health-conscious consumers in the United States and Europe collectively pour over $40 billion into the booming wellness market, desperately chasing a single promise: youthful skin, lubricated joints, and structural longevity. At the absolute apex of this commercial gold rush sits the ultimate clean label darling: premium hydrolyzed collagen powder and sleek, supermarket shelf bone broth cartons, routinely retailing for upwards of $40 to $60 per container. But behind the minimalist, doctor-endorsed packaging lies a staggering, scientifically documented systemic injustice. Independent laboratory testing by consumer advocacy groups recently exposed that multiple leading collagen brands contain detectable levels of heavy metals, including lead and cadmium, because these products are derived from the chemical breakdown of massive industrial slaughterhouse waste. More devastatingly, clinical gastroenterology has quietly proven that once you strip these structural proteins away from their native biological matrix and dehydrate them into an isolated white powder, your stomach treats them as nothing more than an ordinary, overpriced egg. You are quite literally paying 1,000% markup for an inactive, industrially altered illusion. What if the profound ancient secret to skeletal cellular regeneration was never meant to be industrialized, but instead unlocked on your own kitchen counter for less than $3? Let us pull back the pristine corporate curtain and look at the forgotten molecular truth. Walk into any high-end grocery store in Los Angeles, London, or Berlin, and you are immediately confronted by an aesthetic masterpiece. Beautifully designed, minimalist tubs of grass-fed collagen peptides and sleek glass bottles of artisanal bone broth line the shelves, glowing under soft, warm lighting. The marketing narrative is flawless, carefully curated by high-paid branding agencies to evoke a sense of clean, ancestral purity mixed with cutting-edge medical science. They tell a story of a modern renaissance, a return to the dietary wisdom of our hunter-gatherer ancestors who consumed animal connective tissues to maintain optimal physical structural integrity. In an era plagued by chronic joint inflammation, premature skin aging, and gut permeability issues, this promise is utterly irresistible. Consumers are fully convinced that by paying a premium price for these standardized, convenient powders, they are investing in an elite, bioavailable shield for their cellular health. It has become a status symbol of the modern wellness elite, a daily ritual mixed into morning lattes or post-workout smoothies. However, this aesthetic illusion completely masks a clinical reality. The multi-billion-dollar wellness industry has successfully decoupled the consumer from the actual source of nutrition, substituting a complex, living biological matrix with a highly processed, static commodity. The tragic irony of the modern wellness movement is that while buyers believe they are purchasing a shortcut to ancestral vitality, they are actually participating in a highly sophisticated economic extraction scheme. The clean label is not a window into purity. It is a curtain designed to hide the industrial machinery that fundamentally alters the very nourishment people are trying to reclaim. Behind the clean clinical marketing of commercial bone broth and collagen lies a massive industrial logistics network designed for maximum economic efficiency. The journey of that $40 white powder does not begin in an idyllic, open pasture family farm, but rather in the concrete underbelly of centralized industrial slaughterhouses. Here, after the profitable prime cuts of meat are stripped away for meat packing, mountains of leftover biological waste, devalued hides, discarded hooves, connective tissue scraps, and skeletal fragments are collected en masse. To convert this tough, rigid animal matter into a highly soluble product that easily dissolves in an everyday beverage, the industrial manufacturing process utilizes severe interventions. The raw materials are subjected to prolonged periods of extreme thermal pressure, chemical bleaching agents to remove natural odors, and heavy enzymatic hydrolysis to artificially tear the molecular chains apart. This intensive breakdown is structurally violent. It shears the proteins down to the lowest common denominator. While the final output is a perfectly uniform, sterilized white powder that fits seamlessly into a luxury plastic tub, it is entirely decoupled from its native biological environment. The intricate cellular structure that once defined the animal's living tissue is completely obliterated. In the pursuit of industrial scale and endless shelf life, The corporate supply chain strips away the vital cofactors and living synergy of the food, leaving the consumer with nothing but an isolated, highly processed ghost of ancestral nutrition. The core scientific deception of the commercial collagen industry rests on a single fundamental misunderstanding of human gastroenterology: the illusion of direct delivery. Corporate marketing campaigns subtly lead you to believe that the isolated white powder you swallow will travel through your bloodstream and magically rebuild the collagen matrices in your sagging skin or worn-down joint cartilage. Clinical reality completely invalidates this narrative. The human digestive tract is an intensely destructive biochemical furnace. When you consume highly processed, isolated hydrolyzed collagen peptides, your stomach acids and proteolytic enzymes immediately break them down into basic, disorganized amino acids, predominantly glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. At this point, your body no longer recognizes these molecules as premium collagen. It treats them exactly the same as the amino acids derived from a cheap piece of chicken or an ordinary egg. Furthermore, synthesis of actual structural tissue within the human body does not happen in isolation. True collagen creation requires a complex biological ecosystem filled with essential cofactors, including bioactive vitamin C, copper, silicon, and native glycosaminoglycans like hyaluronic acid. By selling you an isolated, highly processed powder, completely stripped of its natural molecular neighborhood, the industry provides an incomplete, biologically inactive tool. You are effectively paying an exorbitant premium for a fragmented molecular illusion that lacks the systemic architecture required for your body to actually utilize it. Long before industrialized food laboratories existed, ancient culinary traditions across both the East and West held the ultimate key to structural cellular regeneration. From the perpetual broth pots of medieval Europe to the restorative medicinal tonics of ancient Asia, our ancestors approached animal bones not as industrial waste, but as a sacred biological treasury. They instinctively understood a profound physiological truth that modern factory processing has completely forgotten. Unlocking the deep matrix of cellular nutrition requires a patient, precise alchemy. They did not utilize flash heating, chemical bleaching, or high-pressure enzymatic isolation. Instead, they relied on two incredibly simple, low-cost elements: low-temperature thermal endurance and a mild natural acid catalyst. By gently simmering dense, grass-fed marrow and joint bones in pure water for 12 to 24 hours alongside a splash of raw, unpasteurized apple cider vinegar, they created an optimal biochemical extraction environment. The mild acidity slowly dissolved the rigid calcium walls, allowing the native, intact collagen matrix to gently untangle and dissolve into the liquid without destroying its biological integrity. This slow-cooked liquid didn't just deliver isolated fragmented amino acids. It yielded a rich, synergistic web of gelatin, biologically active electrolytes, and vital glycosaminoglycans like hyaluronic acid and chondroitin sulfate. This whole food matrix was completely bioavailable, easily recognized and absorbed by the human body because its structural neighborhood remained entirely intact. The true secret of ancestral vitality was never hidden inside a complex industrial facility. It was simply preserved through the investment of time and basic kitchen wisdom. Reclaiming your structural health from the billion-dollar wellness industry requires no advanced laboratory equipment, only a return to conscious kitchen alchemy using three basic raw elements. The foundation begins with selecting high-quality, dense joint bones, such as knuckles, patellas, or feet from strictly 100% grass-fed, pasture-raised cattle, or organic poultry. This choice is legally and chemically critical. Industrial factory-farmed animals, CFOs, routinely bioaccumulate heavy metals like lead and high residues of veterinary antibiotics inside their skeletal matrix, which a long simmer would dangerously concentrate into your food. To safely unlock this matrix, place 2 kilograms of these clean bones into a heavy ceramic or stainless steel pot and submerge them completely in pure filtered water. The crucial catalyst is the next element. Adding 30 milliliters of raw, unpasteurized apple cider vinegar containing the living mother. This mild organic acid acts as a natural extraction solvent, gently lowering the pH of the water to safely demineralize the bone architecture and release bound proteins without damaging their fragile molecular structure. Simmer the mixture on the lowest possible heat, keeping the temperature just below a rolling boil, around 85 degrees Celsius, for 18 to 24 hours. However, a vital caution must be maintained. Prolonged boiling at excessive temperatures will completely denature the delicate gelatin and cross-link the amino acids, turning a medicinal remedy into an inert, hard-to-digest liquid. When completed properly, cooling this broth in the refrigerator transforms it into a thick, deeply vibrating, gelatinous shield. This living gel is rich in intact nutrients that your body immediately recognizes and absorbs, delivering a powerful blow to the corporate illusion of convenience. In a world driven by aggressive hyperconvenience, we have been conditioned to believe that optimal health can only be purchased in a standardized plastic tub or an expensive corporate carton. The multi-billion-dollar wellness complex has successfully commodified our deepest biological vulnerabilities, selling us isolated dead fragments of nutrition at 1,000% markup. But as science and history have shown us today, true structural vitality is not manufactured in an industrial refinery. It is slowly extracted through patience, intention, and respect for natural synergy. When you choose to step away from the commercial shelves and simmer a simple pot of bone broth on your own kitchen counter, you are doing something far more radical than just preparing a meal. You are staging in quiet rebellion against industrial food manipulation, reclaiming your financial sovereignty, and feeding your cells the intact, living matrix they have evolved to recognize for thousands of years. It is time to stop paying a premium for a corporate illusion. Reclaim your kitchen, question the marketing, and remember what time and true alchemy can unlock. If you are ready to see past the pristine wellness curtains and take back control of your health through forgotten, authentic knowledge, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and join our journey back to reality.